Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I have brought you the latest and most thrilling movie of 2024 called Bhairathi Ranagal. This is a thriller and action-related movie, so if that is your type, then make sure to watch this video till the end. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Now let's dive into it. The film opens with a large-scale protest demanding the release of Ranagal, who is accused of breaking their nation's laws. Common folks who had always supported them saw Ranagalis as a savior. Then, in 1985, when a water truck overturns on the desolate Ronapura landscape, a middle-aged man discovers that it is full of water. He forces everyone to sign his petitions for clean water before they can leave the police station, which he barricades. Ranagal is transferred to a juvenile jail facility, leaving his father and younger sister silent. Ranagal later commits himself to education and makes it his life's work to support common people in their pursuit of justice. Many villagers who are in dire need of assistance come to him without hesitation because he never demands a price for his services. Quickly, Ranagal's generosity and talent attracted interested bystanders to his modest home, including Vali, a stunning and kind doctor. One day, a worker named Fatem, who had spent 21 years at Pan Steel, paid Ranagal a visit. Fatem talked about the harsh reality of working at a factory, such as the lack of bonuses, health insurance, and worker care. After an accident at work, Fatem was sacked, and the plant manager was powerless to stop them. In order to strengthen the case against the injustices occurring at the factory, Ranagal consents to collect signatures from other workers. Fatem heeds Ranal's counsel and even summons the police to supervise the signing ceremony. But factory enforcer Gath stepped in and threatened to hurt his family if he didn't give in. Ranal showed up by himself, frightening Gath and escorting him away while keeping a close check on him. Khandra was fired as a result of the workers' uprising, which the plant management was powerless to put an end to. Known for his brutality and readiness to take advantage of his employees, Kona Pond ordered their homes to be destroyed and mercilessly expelled them. Ranagal gave the workers a place to stay in his town when they escaped the factory, giving them solace and hope at their most trying time. Ranagal brought Pan Steel's case to court, but the legal system sided with the plant and cleared them of any misconduct. Ranagal continued to provide shelter to displaced workers in his hamlet, and sought legal guidance from other professionals in spite of this setback. Later, he made the decision to sell a plot of property he had been saving for years, but upon visiting the notary, he was informed that the land was no longer his. Other employees voiced identical grievances the next day, exposing an unsettling trend. When Ranagal brought the case to court, it was discovered that 150 of the workers' land plots had been unlawfully taken by Pan Steel. Another set of paperwork that Pan Steel's attorney supplied said that the employees had given away their rights. The judge ruled in favor of Pan Steel after considering the facts and directed Ranagal to cease providing assistance to the workers. A fresh trial resulted from Ranagal's appeal. This time, Ranagal presented more convincing proof and eyewitness accounts that Pan Steel had deceived the employees into signing papers that essentially surrendered their land to the business. Ranagal revealed how Pan Steel had taken advantage of Rappo's resources for its own benefit without considering the welfare of the workers. After giving it some thought, the judge decided in favor of the workers, denying Pan Steel its ill-gotten riches and authorizing the return of the 150 workers' 610 hectares of land. The land was returned to Pan Steel, despite Ranagal's efforts to arrange a mass funeral for the victims of Gat's savagery. Ranagal went on to say that the workers, not Pan Steel, are the rightful owners of the land. When Ranagal marched to the government offices, one clerk became frightened and ran away, telling his co-workers to follow suit. Eventually, Ranagal obtained the government's approval and legal authorization to sell a section of the land. In the meantime, Ranagal, who had previously been regarded as patient and composed, had changed into a cruel and heartless boss. Under his direction, the factory prospered, and he constructed schools, hospitals, and other public facilities for the employees in the neighborhood. At the same time, Khandra couldn't stand to watch Randall's success. In the midst of Ranagal's victories, he reported his actions to the police and urged them to stop him at all costs. His sister, Vati, who was heavily pregnant, returned to India with her husband, Jael, who apparently wanted to start a healthcare business. Ranagal supported their decision and even helped them settle in, but Ranagal's drastic change in behavior unsettled Vali, the kind doctor who had admired his previous self. When she confronted him, Ranagal dismissed her worries, saying that his new strategy was the only way to guarantee the happiness and prosperity of those around him. Meanwhile, in order to obtain intelligence, Gana had placed a spy among Randall's men. The spy revealed that Lion, one of Randall's trusted aides, was moving substantial sums of money. Following this tip, the police inspector stormed Lion's truck, armed and prepared to step in, and demanded that the truck's contents, which is a load of sand, be dumped onto the ground. Ranagal watched in silence from his chair as the officers examined the sand, but he calmly approached the inspector, who scooped up a handful of sand and explained that it contained 75% iron ore. He even offered to sell it to the officers at a special price. The inspector, realizing that Kay had misled him, became irate and vowed to find a way to send Ranagal back to prison. They went to the Indian Prime Minister with the offer to pay off his debts in return for his assistance in overthrowing Ranagaldo, but the Prime Minister turned them down, claiming that he had already sold Ranagaldo his assets to pay off his debts. Furious at this setback, he showed them a truck full of cash as evidence. The Prime Minister was discovered dead close to Ranagal's mining site, and the police immediately came to his house to arrest him. When they realized he wasn't there, they took Vava instead and dragged her to the police station. Kay became even more determined to destroy Ranagal's mining operations, growing, accumulating enormous wealth, and reaching international markets. When one officer attempted to help Vidava sit down and remove her perspiration from her body while she stood in distress, the inspector struck him down without showing any mercy. Meanwhile, when Ranagal heard that his sister, who was heavily pregnant, had been taken to the police station, he hurried there without hesitation. Upon witnessing the abuse she was going through, Ranagal grabbed a chair and gently assisted her in sitting down. He then confronted the inspector, who accused him of being involved in the Prime Minister's death at the mining site. But Ranagalhad had come prepared with his lawyer by his side, and he was released on bail. Ranagal calmly drove away, leaving behind nothing but ruins, determined to protect his sister. He entrusted her security to Lion, who stood guard outside their new home, ready to defend them at all costs. The inspector, seething with rage, vowed to imprison Ranagal no matter what. However, Ranagal responded to the inspector's threats with brutal retaliation, dousing the police station in gasoline and setting it on fire, turning the building and everything inside to ashes that everyone inside could do nothing to stop the inferno. Ranagal was standing in his bedroom just after Kandre woke up, which was a startling discovery. In a similar vein, Kona was taken aback when Randall's private chopper touched down at his workplace. Gana promptly sent out his armed guards to halt Ranagal, but Ranagal's men soon overran them. Kay shuddered in terror, particularly when he saw Ranagal holding Kandra's amputated eye. Ranagal said he wanted to put an end to their feud once and for all, demanding that they stop their evil deeds in Ronapura. However, the peace was short-lived, as a new crisis arose when Ranagal's hospital was overrun with critically ill patients, many of whom were unable to be saved and perished inside its walls. The staff was left feeling helpless and exhausted. Ranagal was unaware that someone had planned. In order to prevent suspicion, this disaster meticulously covered their tracks. They even told hospital employees to behave normally so that no one would suspect foul play. The following day, Vali went up to Ranagal and disclosed the true cause of the hospital's issue. She clarifies that several of the prescriptions being given were expired and that the dosages were off. To his surprise, the mastermind Ranagal found the dishonest doctor who was behind it and made him confess to his partner. Ranagal is distraught since he had supported Fadem from the start and had been betrayed in the worst way by the mastermind, who was none other than Fradine. Fradine had become jealous of Ranagal's success while working under Giles, without further delay. Realizing that Jael was the real mastermind behind this dark plot, Ranagal gave Lion a weapon, and shortly afterward, the Lion quickly put an end to Farad's life by burning his body on the spot and starting a huge fire at the pharmaceutical factory he had run under Jael's supervision. Shortly after confronting Jael about his greed and the atrocities he had committed, Ranagal became enraged. Jael laughed icily and admitted that his only reason for traveling to India was to profit from his pharmaceutical business at all costs. In a fit of wrath, Ranagal attacked Jael with his sword, killing him in a single devastating blow. Ranagal immediately went to Athi and made her swear to never leave him, no matter what, and he informed her that Jael would never come back. When Athi saw the blood on Ranagal's hands, she started crying, her tears blending with the agony of her upcoming labor. Ranagal took her to the hospital, where she gave birth safely. But Athi refused to look at Ranagal, her heart heavy with betrayal and grief. Meanwhile, Vali, who had always loved Ranagal, found herself at odds with her father, who disapproved of her feelings because he knew all too well the vicious reputation Ranagal had earned. On the opposite side, CR made contact with Sabari, a senior official who had just become the head of a political party. In order to win Shabari's devotion, Ghana lavished him with gifts and promised to install CR's younger brother as prime minister. Ghana solicited favors from powerful people in order to support Shabari's plan to kill Ranagal. When the plans of Shibari and Ghana were discovered, Shabari's soldiers attacked Ranagal's factory and sealed it without giving a reason. Startled by the news, Ranagal planned to ruin him. By making an agreement with the new Prime Minister, Kam Bandri, Ranagal was able to recover his confiscated assets. Ranagal and Ghana were left in annoyance after Ghana was astounded by his shrewdness and resourcefulness. To help Ranagal remember who he used to be, Vali gave him a book when he visited. Ghana declared war on Ranagal because he refused to concede defeat and launched a vicious attack on the mines. Injured Ranagal retaliated, and Ghana wished to free Ranagal from Ranagal's hold. But filled with malice, Shibari planned his next move and recruited Ghana's younger brother to help him carry it out. The narrative emphasizes the perils of using a sword to combat injustice and the significance of getting legal counsel before entering into business agreements. Here, this movie ends. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome recaps.